Hey there, internets. This is Kyle with another edition of the My Business Launch Secrets YouTube channel. Hope you are all doing well today. This is day 84 on one man's journey from going from $0 to $1 million and starting a new online business. I am said guy trying to do this thing part-time because I still got a day job and mouths to feed here at the home and bills to pay and all that fun stuff. So if you're just following along for the first time, this is more or less just my own verbal diary to myself. I do very little editing to the video here. So if you're looking for something super entertaining, that's probably not what this is, but hopefully will be something for me to look back on a year from now or sometime down the road when I've got massive success. Just want to see all the dumb shit that I did when I was trying to figure out what the hell I was going to do. So today I think finally cracked through the process by which I will record videos for the YouTube channel that I'm leveraging for the business, which will be kind of tutorial-like in nature, educational type videos. And I've been struggling for a while now to just figure out how I do that exactly, aside from getting a whiteboard, just putting it behind me and press go on the old camera here and call it a day. But wanted to do something a little bit more sophisticated. And it's not, and actually it's just kind of a side note. It's not just for the purposes of, showing that, hey, I can do digital drawing type of content, which again is more common these days. But the secondary effect is that, so every video that I do, if I'm teaching a lesson or working out a problem or something along that sorts, I can obviously save all the notes that I'm writing from the video, and then I can use those as something to put into a members area. So again, thinking about how you make money off of just making YouTube videos. Sure, you can wait till you get like millions of subscribers and get serious YouTube ad revenue, but who knows how long that would take. And so the better option is just to push the hopefully thousands of people that will find my videos, push them to actually pay me something, pay me some subscription, some membership to get access to additional content. One of which would be like, hey, if you liked what you saw here on the video, you can download all the notes that you've seen me work out if you just join our membership for $20 a month or whatever it is. And so that I think is a good selling point for why I've been trying to get this working, as opposed to, again, just taking a more economical approach and just recording myself working on paper or something, right? So anyway, I think I mentioned yesterday I did hear or read about or somewhere found out about something called OBS Studio, which is a free recording tool for any platform, Mac, Windows, even Linux. And I guess it's something that's kind of pretty widely used, especially in the live streaming kind of arena. If you're a gamer, I guess. I've never done gaming things, and I have no idea why people watch other people play video games. But, that's a big deal, I guess. So I guess this is one of the platforms that some of those types of folks use for streaming their content, where, again, you want to show what's happening on your screen while also showing a video, capture of yourself, and then maybe switch between either different screens or even different cameras or what have you, and be able to do that all seamless within the same kind of recording process, instead of, again, having to do a bunch of post-production if you're just individually recording all the various video inputs and audio inputs, and then, having to drop all those into some fancy video editor like DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut Pro or whatever, and then do all your editing post-production. And as I've said, I'm trying to, even though I'm confident I can figure out how to do that, obviously the time involved in doing that is fairly significant, and given I'm trying to find the path of least resistance here in terms of my overall workflow, I thought it would be better, again, to just be able to capture content and switch between, me showing, full screen video like this is versus switching to, say, an iPad or even a laptop if there was ever need to do that sort of thing. And so I downloaded, I guess, yesterday and hadn't really had much time to play around with it last night. So I spent more time with that today and figured out some pretty cool things. Most importantly of which is that when you take an iPad, as I have here, and directly connect it to your Mac computer, and I'm assuming this probably works for if you have a Windows thing too, but it's easier, I think, for Mac to Mac type of interface. But anyway, if you have it connected by wire, then OBS Studio recognizes your iPad as a video source, as a video input. And so again, you can set up what they call scenes that are again showing any portion of the iPad screen that you want to. You can crop it down to show certain things or others or whatever. And again, overlay your video however you want that to look. So you kind of set up that all up ahead of time, and then when you have different scenes set up, you can then switch, and there's different shortcuts you could set up. I haven't really worked through all that quite yet, but I'll show you here in a minute how it works as I'm actually recording this video right now on OBS Studio. And anyway, so I can switch back and forth between, again, like full camera as well, and then some partial with the iPad footage. Additionally, which is not necessarily something I think I'll need to use, because I don't have really any good idea of how I would use it initially, but the video or the audio from anything that you're playing on your iPad, if you're recording off your iPad, or even if you're just recording off your computer, any audio sounds are also recorded within OBS Studio. So again, this is the whole thing that I wondered about for a while when I watch other people's YouTube videos, especially people doing like review type video, people that are doing review type videos of somebody else's videos. So they'll show the video of whatever they're reviewing, and then they'll obviously talk about their opinions of it. Anyway, it's clear that they're like on their computer and they hit play and you can hear the audio. It's not like they're just holding their microphone up to a speaker or something stupid like that, but it's actually the system audio that you're hearing directly. And so, but then I was wondering, well, because again, the point of OBS Studio is you're just going to end up with a single recording track at the end of the day, just a single MP4, whatever format you choose. And so how would you be able to separate the two audio sources, say from a microphone versus if you were like playing a video on the iPad that you were recording? Well, something new I learned today is I guess the MP4 format can have multiple audio tracks. I never knew that. Not that I would ever know that because I'm brand new to all this anyway, but point being, so if you recorded one single video track, you can now take that track, dump it into something like DaVinci Resolve, and now see the multiple audio tracks. And so if you needed to adjust the levels, let's say of something that was playing on your iPad versus your microphone level, you have all that flexibility to make those sorts of tweaks. In addition, and I'm pretty sure this works, I think I tested it with some file I did earlier. I can take that MP4 file, run it through this TIMEBOLT software that I got, which again is a tool used to automatically kind of cut out all the pauses and ums and ahs and various crutch words that might not be too great to have in a final edited product. It will take your video file, automatically find all those spots, and boom, then render a new file where it has cut out all of those pauses and gives you a reduced, length track or video. Within seconds you can do this. So it's pretty amazing in that regard. And so I think I found I can again take the video recording from OBS Studio, dump it into TIMEBOLT. TIMEBOLT's only going to pick up one of the audio tracks, and you can actually select which audio track you want to look at. But obviously you'd probably select the one connected to your microphone. It'll do all its processing and spit it out, still saving the multiple audio tracks with the video file, which again, you can just dump that into DaVinci Resolve, and you now have the fully condensed version without all those ums and ahs and everything else, and you can tweak and tailor things accordingly from there. And that's what I wanted to do in the first place when I started this whole thing, and now amazingly this free tool, open source tool, is a thing I think that'll get it done. The only thing this doesn't do, like that Camtasia does, which I've talked about before, is I don't think it records the metadata in terms of if you are on your computer, trying to show something on the screen. It's not, OBS Studio does not record like where your mouse pointer is, which then you could use later for adding some effects around your mouse cursor or replace your cursor with a much bigger cursor, which is kind of a key feature or selling point, whatever, of Camtasia. But again, for what I'm doing, that's not really a big deal. And even things like, zooming in to a certain part of your screen, if you want people to focus on that part of your screen, like all that stuff you can do relatively easily in DaVinci Resolve, which is also free. But also, since I'm working off the iPad, which has, gesture controls, I can zoom in just again as I'm recording, so I don't have to worry about like going back in post-production and like watching carefully about where I want to zoom in or zoom out. It's just like I just do it real time, and that'll get me like 95% of the way there, I think, and maybe I just do some minor tweaks after the fact within DaVinci Resolve, right? So anyway, that's I think where I'm at on the recording side. So just to show you that I'm not bullshitting you. I'll switch my inputs to this one, I think. Okay, here we go. I think that's recording now, my iPad. So you're looking at my iPad with, of course, the video sitting there on the side. That's just where I've dropped the video. You could move that anywhere you wanted to. Again, you could crop that video down to whatever size you wanted to, etc. And then if I pick one of these videos...
Hey there, internets. This is Kyle with another edition of the My Business Launch Secrets YouTube channel. Hope you're all doing well today. And let's talk about trying to figure out the overall workflow.
You'll see that you can hear the video file. Just to make sure I'm not shitting you or whatever, let's just pick another one. It's just an old Kevin Stratford.
Hey, what's up, fellow entrepreneur and small business owner? Let me guess. You have been told.
Hi everyone, Kevin here. Today,
and the other thing
we're
about
going
OBS
to look
Studio,
at 5 different tools that leverage.
The thing about OBS Studio is I can monitor the audio levels again of the iPad relative to my microphone inputs, and you can already tweak the volume level of the iPad within OBS Studio initially, which is kind of what I did earlier when I was playing around with it. But again, if you don't want to worry about that, you could just leave it full blast and it's an easy edit to do within DaVinci Resolve for that purpose. But yeah, so I think this is pretty good tool overall, and again pretty nifty that I can again show from the iPad. I guess let me show you the actual drawing app itself. So here's me playing around, but again I could now with the old Apple Pencil that I'm using on my iPad be able to draw stuff and write, etc. I don't know how many of you grew up in the 90s, but I did, so that's where some of my insanity comes from. And yeah, do all sorts of stuff on the drawing pad again. So like this is whatever GoodNotes I think is this app in particular. So I can again create individual like notebooks or whatever, say for each video, and however many number of sheets, and then export these sheets I guess as like a PDF. I haven't really played around with that, and then again provide that to somebody. Just say, hey, instead of you trying to copy down all these notes, I'll just give them to you. All I gotta do is sign up for my online doohickey thing, right? So yeah. So I guess the next plan, now that I have this worked out, is actually figure out what the hell I want to start making lessons about and whatnot. So that's next on the list. Let's see. Let me go back to where is, I think this one. Okay, yeah. All right. So I switched there back to the main setting or whatnot, and that's it. I mean, that's what it does. That's what it's supposed to do. I like it. I dig it. Again, there's a ton more you can sort of tweak here and setting up those scenes that I told you about, that a lot of it's built around. And then I think the thing I got to figure out is, having this, well, I don't know. I keep looking over here because my laptop is sitting over here and my screen in front of me is connected to an entirely different computer for work stuff. But this is all kind of a temporary situation. But I was thinking like, if you were recording from your computer, if you were doing a screen capture recording of your computer screen, you might want to have a second screen where you can watch what's going on in OBS Studio on one screen while you're actually doing whatever you're trying to do on your main screen, I guess. But again, since I'm doing an iPad, I would just probably have OBS Studio running on the screen in front of me so I can keep my line of sight here, looking at the camera, etc., and all that fun stuff. In other news, I'm painting here in this room because, as I mentioned, I'm trying to do some renovations here, and so I'm pretty high up on paint right now. Paint fumes, because I still need to put a second coat on here before I go to bed. It's almost it is midnight, and that's awesome. Shouldn't take me too long, maybe 30-45 minutes. Do second coat of paint, some primer, hopefully do the final coat tomorrow. Don't know how long I have to wait in between recoats, probably 4 hours, so we'll see if I can't get in 2 coats tomorrow. Hopefully. Tomorrow's Thursday, and temperature is supposed to drop like 50 degrees, which is crazy. It's going to be like single digits where I'm at, which is pretty uncommon. And so that should be interesting going into the Christmas weekend here. The other thing I'll mention real quick here is the job situation. So I think I mentioned previously about I am exploring a change in my day job just because for various reasons that don't really matter. Won't get into it, but I just kind of struggling in my day job. I do a fine job, but struggling to kind of stay motivated for a multitude of reasons. Frankly, I'm not at risk of losing my job or anything like that. I'm not really worried about that at all. And it does pay well. I am blessed to have the job that I do. It takes care of me and my family very well. But at the end of the day, money only kind of gets you so far in this life. And considering that any of us who are doing a day job are spending a significant fraction of your time every day, every week, every month, every year, I mean, a significant fraction of your entire life is doing your job. It's so, I think that it is important to be doing something that you really find some fulfillment in doing and are able to get kind of some positive feedback in some regards from that fulfillment. And that doesn't mean just like some guy, your boss or whatever, saying, hey, you're doing good work. But I mean like knowing that legitimately, like that your work has real tangible impacts or effects or whatever. And I'm not saying you got to save the world or anything like that shit, but just that it's clear. And I'll just say that my current job doesn't have that. It's just kind of stupid. It doesn't matter. So anyway, I'm exploring other jobs. Not too much. I've sent out like one resume. I just threw it out there. Total long shot. They haven't contacted me. They might not even be looking. I don't know. But the other job I've applied for is one through a company that I have a few friends that work at. And I reached out to one guy who's relatively senior in the company and, just said, hey, I'm considering other opportunities. Do you guys have something? He said, yeah. He thought they did. And so he put me in touch with their recruiter who I did talk to today. And I would say that conversation went pretty good overall. Again, that, it's just a recruiter. She's just trying to kind of gather information and understand where I'm coming from and what I'm looking for and tell me a little bit about the company and the job, etc. So, but at least it went well enough that she agreed to get me on the schedule of the main guy who's hiring for this particular role. And so that'll be in a couple weeks, just, holidays and everything here currently. So a couple weeks I'll be talking to him. And yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how that goes down. The opportunity is another bit of a shift in my career, something a little bit different than what I'm used to doing. But I think of all the kind of shifts that I've had over my years in my career, I think this one's actually probably the most interesting, exciting, whatever, scary, terrifying, all those types of emotions mixed together, but all that rolled up, it's like, oh, well, this is maybe kind of good. Maybe this is sort of what I'm looking for in terms of finding something that I can really sink my teeth into because I know that there will be measurable impacts if I am successful. No guarantees I'll be successful. I could totally fall flat on my face and be out of a job in 6 months. But again, I am one that certainly believes if you have the right mindset of understanding that there will be challenges, but that anybody in that job is going to have challenges, and there's no reason why anybody else could succeed and I wouldn't succeed. So I think I could do very well in that job. I think it would be a lot more work, and which I'm not opposed to doing more work, again, if I know what the impact is. The bigger drawback is it would require much more travel, which is something I've come to realize I don't really like doing so much, especially, I got young kids now, so, that makes it harder on the family, etc. And I just like sleeping in my own bed. Hotel beds are the worst, right? So anyway, I still gotta, get a better feel for kind of exactly what that would look like. And ultimately, if they like me well enough and want to make an offer, then obviously I'd have to consider all the factors at that point. Even if I ever even get to that point, maybe they'll just say they're looking for somebody with a different set of skills than I have, and that's cool. That's fine. So anyway, just want to mention that other stuff going on. And again, still high on paint fumes because I just painted. So anyway, I think I'm going a bit long here for today. So I hope you're all doing well. Keep on kicking ass, taking names, and I'll see you next time. Peace.